Hey folks, we start tonight with a satellite image of Hurricane Harvey. Now a pretty impressive hurricane out there. The biggest part of the storm is right here. Look, the eye right there, you see it. And then the big blob of moisture up on the north side of that as it continues to move off toward the northwest, making its way toward the Corpus Christi area, maybe just a little bit north of there. Winds are still 85 miles per hour. New advisory due out in about 45 minutes. It's probably a little less than that from the National Hurricane Center. 24/7, 93.9 are the coordinates. You can track that on your Channel 5 Whataburger tracking map, moving to the north-northwest at about 10. Still forecasting it to stay just offshore by maybe 75 to 100 miles, so you get sideswiped at the coast. We'll look at the expected winds and rain in a moment. By 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, late Friday night, early Saturday morning, moves across the coast and then just rains itself out. It rains and rains and rains through Sunday and Monday. Now the models are starting to all drift eastward after that. And if that happens, that'll lessen our long-term rainfall totals because it's moving away rather than moving our direction. If you remember, as we've been looking at the models the last couple of days, they'd come in here, then they just go all over the place. We weren't sure what was going to happen with it after, say, Monday. But now the models are starting to push it eastward starting Monday into Tuesday, and that would bring the rain to a pretty quick end by early next week. Big rainfall total still up here, 15 inches plus. Wouldn't be out of line to see 30 inches in some places along here, and along with that, a dangerous storm surge that will inundate the beaches north of Corpus Christi from Port Aransas northward, maybe all the way up close to Galveston even. In the meantime, you get a little closer to home. We've lowered these numbers a little bit because, again, that eastward movement tends to mean a little less rain for us. Now, that movement doesn't start until probably, again, Monday or so we still get rain, but probably not quite as much. That's the newest information coming in, and so we're going to watch that. Now, what about winds? Everybody wants to know what they're going to get wind-wise at their house. Well, if you're on the coast, you'll see gusts close to 70 miles per hour, maybe up around Port Mansfield, one gust to hurricane force. That's why there's a hurricane watch in effect. Inland to about I-69E, to about US 77, gust to about 50 miles per hour. And we're talking a momentary burst of wind, not the sustained. It just keeps blowing at 50. No, it'll blow 20, 30, then go up to 50 and back down. That's a gust, and then we can see that in the eastern part of the valley from about, well, let's say Mercedes all the way back to about Mission. Then northward from there, gusts to about 40 miles per hour, and then about 30 when you get in the western part of the valley from just west of Mission all the way out through Roma, Rio Grande City, and up to Falcon Lake. Hurricane Center is doing something new this year called the estimated earliest arrival of tropical storm force winds. The earliest we could see wind gust of over 39 miles per hour. And Hurricane Center says right at the coast by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. you could see gust up to tropical storm force. Move inland to almost I-69C by tomorrow afternoon at 2. That's when you'll see the gustiest winds begin to arrive. And what winds there are all the way out into Starr County, not until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So you can see the progression of the wind across the valleys. If you're in McAllen, you probably won't see winds of tropical storm force or greater, if you get those at all, until tomorrow afternoon sometime. While at the coast, at South Padre Island, Port Isabel, it'll be first thing in the morning. So you can see that progression of the wind across the valley as the hurricane sneaks by off to the east and eventually to the north of us. This is what it looks like on radar tonight. Well-defined eye now, sitting about 200 miles or so, 175, 180 miles to the east-southeast of Brownsville, and that radar continues to push it to the east-northeast, or to the north-northeast. There you see the NAM model. It brings it by tomorrow afternoon, very close to our coast, but offshore. By Friday at 11, right on the coast, somewhere near Corpus Christi, and again, maybe a little bit north of Corpus. That would be good for them because the storm surge, the biggest storm surge is to the right of the center rather than coming into Corpus Christi Bay, maybe a little farther north. Fingers crossed on that, not for the folks up north, of course. And then Saturday morning, it just kind of sits there. But all the models eventually take it eastward. This one kind of has it meandering around for a while, but eventually, early next week, you see that eastward movement back out perhaps into the Gulf. Here's where the winds will be the strongest. This yellow area, 40 to 60 miles per hour, 60 to 80. Here's Corpus Christi, there's Houston. So you can see right between the two up around Victoria. 80 to 100, a very small area, and then the 100 to 120, a little purple dot you see right there. Just a small area, we'll see those winds of over 100 miles per hour. Our rain chances? Pretty good shot the next 2 days. It comes off to 50% on Sunday. It may go down on Sunday. There's a potential for that to back off if the system starts to move eastward. Temperatures stay well below average, 84, and then a couple of 87s after that. So tonight, 77 for your low. Showers just kind of develop later tonight, early tomorrow morning. It may be a quiet evening across much of the valley, but after midnight, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you may start to hear waves of showers coming across. Could be gusty winds with those. Then tomorrow, cloudy with rain. It'll be windy from time to time. Those squalls come through and it gets really windy and then it goes away. Then another squall comes through and it gets really windy and it goes away. We're not going to be near the center, so again, your winds, we showed you the gusts, not hurricane force, but certainly windier than your average day and your average thunderstorm. So here we go. Temperatures after the weekend go back to normal. Sunshine comes back out, but boy, the next 2 or 3 days, we are under the gun. Fortunately, we are out of the direct line of that storm, but close enough that we're going to pay very close attention to it and keep you up to date. That is your updated First One 5 forecast.